Hello, everyone, and welcome to another spoiler discussion for Defenders of Equestria with commentary as magic. I am, as
Defenders.
always, Grand Pods.
Big Cheese.
Aracat.
In Living Silver.
Bugle is
Bugle.
MIA.
Yes, and he will be joining us shortly, hopefully.
So this has been a productive week for spoilers. We've seen almost double the number of spoilers through various sources that we've seen for previous streams, and that means a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
6 cards, right?
6 cards. Well, 8 if you count the first versions
No,
of
six
the Classic
cards. No, 6 cards exactly.
Exactly 6 cards, no more, no
Exactly
less.
6 cards, no more, no less.
Maybe 6.2?
No, we don't
Maybe
do floating point math here.
10 to the 10 to the 10 to the 6.8.
6.8. Yes, that many cards.
Awesome.
Weird story on that one. Ask us at a con. It's too weird to relate over stream.
That it is. But we've seen all kinds of cool things. From here, of course, a continuation of multicolor cards, which are always very exciting to see. We've also seen a new monocolor song cycle, one of our first resources coming up from this set, colorless friends coming back, and some neat implications in Pauper or other block formats where you may be relying more on cards from recent sets rather than just building out of your whole collection. So what say we dive right in? Oh, but first, before we do so, we'd like to give a congratulations to the winner of our previous giveaway, who is Railershy. So congratulations on winning the pack drafter from our first giveaway. Yay.
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 Hey.
Yes.
I am wearing my Yay shirt right now, so even if you can't hear it in my voice, I am very enthusiastic
Big
for you.
fluffy unicorn stats. No, wait, hold on.
Wrong Yay. And as a reminder to everyone else, we will continue to have sporadic giveaways. So tuning into these streams is the best chance you have of getting some awesome prizes for this game. With that, let's take a look at our first card spoiled from this last week. What do we got,
Sweetie
Chief?
Belle, most traditional.
All right. Let's talk about this card here for a moment. And currently, there we go. Now we've got it up. Sweetie Belle is a 2-cost, 2-power, orange and white friend who is a unicorn full with 2 orange and 2 white rec, who has stubborn and immediate. Exhaust this card to look at the top 2 cards of a player's deck. Put any number of them into their owner's discard pile and the rest back on top in any order. And she is an uncommon. A lot of people have speculated about possible uses for this card, and I think there are 2 particular directions that are immediately obvious with her. The first one being to disrupt chaos strategies, where your opponent is intentionally manipulating the top card of their deck to put powerful flip effects on top.
Tantivus.
Waking Nightmare, whatever you want to call it. There are plenty of chaos decks that will do this. And the second is to disrupt meticulous strategies. There are several control decks that, rather than relying on a lot of card draw through pink, instead just try to filter through their deck as efficiently as possible by looking at the top card or top 2 cards or the however many cards they can get triggers of meticulous for and rearranging them as they see fit on the top or bottom of their deck. Sweetie Belle, being an activated ability, will be able to be used after the triggering window for Meticulous at the start of the player's turn has passed.
So, for example, meticulous bottom, meticulous top. Okay. And then you turn on Sweetie Belle and you're like, that thing that you just put on top of your deck? Yeah. You don't get that.
That can just go in your discard pile. Now, there's other potential uses for this card as well. The fact that you are able to affect either player means not only can you use this defensively to stop your opponent from setting the top of their deck or drawing exactly what they need at any given point in time, but you can actually use it aggressively on yourself to try to get some extra deck setting on your own, and potentially to even put important tools into your discard pile, which is not something that we normally see done. what sort of a reason might a player have for intentionally putting a good card from the top of their deck into their discard pile?
If
Hooves.
they're going to be using recursion.
Well, Hooves is honestly a good one that I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, Hooves is
But
a great
yeah,
one.
there you go.
So
Oh, I
look
don't
at the
know.
top
There's
of your-
this really expensive blue card. It costs like, what is it? 4? Yeah,
5.
It costs 4.
Yeah, no, it's 5.
It's 5.
Dude, Penny Hooves. Don't you remember?
No, not him. I mean the other one. The one that goes really
Oh.
fast and doesn't sit down. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
That one.
Hey, you don't even
Thunder-
need. Yeah, Thunderlane. Hey, how about that? You don't even need to be in blue to play a Thunderlane now.
So being able to bring back powerful friends from a discard pile is a strategy that's present in a number of different card games, and we've seen some tools for this so far in MLP, but one of the key things we've been missing has been kind of an engine to enable this. Much of the effects, or many of the effects that we have that'll bring back cards from the discard pile directly into play are either very, very limiting, like Rarity, Element of Generosity, where you can only bring back white friends, and even then your opponent gets a choice, or they'll have an effect where you can play cards from your discard pile, but anything that would enter your discard pile for the rest of this phase or turn is banished instead. And that's usually pretty risky. This might mean that you can use either your own top deck manipulation or just multiple copies of Sweetie Belle, because hey, she's not unique and she's uncommon, so she'll be easy enough to play. And put key pieces into your discard pile that you could bring back with cards like Redeeming Qualities. And all of a sudden, these gigantic Thunderlanes, or even, Doctor Who's bringing out other Doctor Who's, can form a new kind of synergy.
And like this completely destroys cards like Star Swirl Research.
Oh, sure. Because when you play Star Swirl Research, you've passed priority, so.
Yeah, this is I really like this card, actually.
I see you have put a 7 on top of your deck.
It would be a shame if that never saw play again. And of course, if you really want to, and you are just an absolutely terrible person and want to win by milling your opponent out of their deck entirely, this is a method you can use to do that. But seriously, what kind of people play decks like that?
Seriously.
Yeah, like no,
None of our locals, that's for sure.
no hand, no deck, no
No,
friends in play.
Nope.
That would be awful.
That would be terrible. Anyway, overall, in a limited environment, I'm going to rate this card at. Oh, we should probably clarify our scale a little bit before we go into the rating.
Yes.
Cheese, do you want to go into that a bit?
Oh, you're making me bring
Sorry.
up the chart.
Sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus here.
I actually don't have the chart up, but if I remember correctly, 5 is a card that completely defines a deck. Like you build an entire deck around it. Like RTO, Night Glider, you're building the rest of the deck around those cards. A 4 is a major draw to a deck, and there might be multiple of these kind of cards in the deck. And so a card like this would actually be Applejack, Factory Worker, and what's her name? Paper Twy?
I think I'd actually argue that even Night Glider and RTO don't classify as 5s. 5s needs to be something really stupidly broken, like, say, Tantabuse.
Sure. Night Glider and Rarity Truly
They're-
Outrageous go in a number of different decks, but aren't defining those decks alone.
Yeah, well, and
They're
it does
really good
depend.
cards.
It does depend on the context of the deck sometimes. But so like major draws are the AT generators allow you to run certain decks, and like without them, you couldn't do it. And so they're a major draw to an archetype. 3s are just good cards, but they're not in every deck of that archetype, or like even in most decks of that archetype, and just in general good. 2s are where you start getting into this is only good and limited. 2 and 1 are about there, and a 0 is this hurts any deck it is put in, even in a limited deck. You are better just like run some random high flip card. And that would be something like Spike Baby Dragon.
Sweet Apple Acres.
Or Spike Baby Dragon.
Best Spike.
He never had a chance. So with that scale in mind, where 4 is a very, very good card that you want to run multiple copies of, but maybe doesn't necessarily define the deck. That seems pretty appropriate in constructed for me with this card.
I think I agree. This is a real enabler of a deck strategy.
It's somewhere between 3 and 4, I think. I don't care to put it all the way into 4. It's definitely up there.
Living Soldier, what do you think?
I would say agree with the 3.5. Or are we not doing floating point decimals again?
We end up doing it.
It's going to happen. Let's see. I'm going with a pi.
3.14.
I will agree that it's not quite 4, but it is definitely a solid 3.
Chat, let us know what you think, of course, as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these cards. And we'll give you a chance to do that as we move right here to our next spoiler for this week.
Pinky's Present.
All right. So in Pinky's Present, as anyone who knows me knows Pinky is best pony. I will tell
Nice.
you over and over again.
That's a
It was
funny way to pronounce Fluttershy.
So I was
It's a
very
very
excited.
funny way. Our queen, blah, blah, blah.
That is a funny way to say Pinkie Pie. So I was very excited to see this card. Not only does it reference a great song, we have a reference to the Christmas past, present, or Hearthswarming Eve episode. And we have 3 modes. A song. This is our first song that we've had spoiled yet. It is also the first song that is a single color. And in looking at it, we have 3 modes, and each one of them references another card, or at least duplicates in effect, that we've seen on other single event cards that are all pink. The first mode is to choose one, draw 4 cards. Many people, when this card was first dropped, were talking online and referencing Let's Get This Party Started. Let's Get This Party Started for 1 cost, draws you 3 cards, and Pinky's Presence only draws you 4 with 2 cost. So on a 1-to-1 ratio, it is a little bit more expensive than to play Let's Get This Party Started. But if you were to replace the new card with the old one, or the old card with the new one, at least you're getting a 4-card draw, and it won't hurt any deck that depended on a 3-card draw. The next mode, need +2 to confront problems. Basically, it's a floating eccentric. And the thing to note about this card, when comparing it with its earlier sister card, Puppet Show, a Puppet Show did have an immediate timing and was 1 cost, but it only allowed you to increase the confront requirements for a single problem. Whereas if we notice on Pinky's Presence, it allows us to increase the confront requirement for problems. Meaning, both problems, if any dilemmas are out on the field, then the confront requirements are increased for those as well. So for 2 cost, yes.
Now, that's an interesting thing to talk about here because of kind of the weird interaction that exists with modifiers in this game.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that if you play an effect that will boost the power of all friends until the end of a turn, and then you play a friend, that friend will get the effect. If you play Pinky's Present before your opponent has any dilemmas in play, and they play a dilemma, Pinky's Present will still affect that dilemma. So even if your opponent hasn't necessarily shown their hand yet, but you're fearing something like a T-Rex Reign of Terror or an Industrial Revolution or a Just Clowning Around coming down, you can actually play this, and not only will it affect the 2 problems in play, but any other problems that would be entering play over the course of the next turn.
And when is a situation when an opponent may play a dilemma? When we have Fire When Ready show up at the end of a turn. Frequently, people will plan to score off this card by throwing down dilemmas and DFOing the next turn. If that happens, and you don't feel like triggering Fire When Ready, Pinky's Presence is something that we can do defensively, just as a strategy. The 2 cost to increase +2, eccentric 2 on at least 2 different problems is a pretty significant benefit for our AT gain. And I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, we have another card that does something comparable in the game.
There are a number of different effects that do that.
But for that cost ratio, that's
possibly with
+4.
possibly with some of the eccentric. We'd have to check.
Because +4 for 2 AT is pretty good.
Sonata
Of course,
Dusk will do it.
yeah, Sonata Dusk. Yes, this is true. Okay. Moving on to the third mode. The third mode is to gain control of an opposing friend until the end of the score phase. Of course, we have seen this before multiple times with pink. Most frequently in the older sets, we had cards come in within high magic and marks and time that will steal a friend. Most notably is a simple mix-up. This is comparable to 2 cost, 4 rec. It is just a better cost for the same effect. There is no reason not to replace Pinky's Presence with for a simple mix-up. Cool. Any thoughts?
The present's always filled with presents.
So for this
So
card,
come on, open your eyes.
Would you say they're in piles, or would you say they're in stacks?
pile of stacks, stack of
Pile of
presents.
suitcases,
Yeah.
stack of presents.
So the way I view this card actually is that with let's get this party started, you're really either searching for answers or searching for ammo with it. It itself is neither of those things. And this card is actually both allows you to search for ammo or other answers, and is also an answer itself to some situations. So yeah, it costs more, but it's also by itself can be useful.
And this is not even to mention the fact that it has multiple modes, which the options and opportunities is worth the cost alone.
Well, that's what he's talking about by it being both an answer and helping you find them itself.
Yes.
The modes are what allows it to do that. And the question just becomes, are the answers that this card potentially provides on its own, or the amount of depth it allows you to dig to find answers, worth the increased cost? What do you think?
For 2 cost, I would say totally.
I think it's at least worth consideration. People like Leo, or like Living Silver said, have talked about just replacing, let's get this party started with this card. I don't think that's necessarily always the correct decision, but I could see situations where you may want to run this in place of it in a slower kind of control deck.
And anyone who is running a simple mix-up will certainly want to replace that.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
definitely true.
Yeah, the songs are always interesting because they give you more agility. Although if you're running, for example, party, you're looking at this and going, I just want 3 cards for 1 AT. Whereas this is, okay, fine. I get another card, but I have to pay more AT. And I also have some other modes to maybe do something with.
And
Overall, what rating would you give for it?
so real quick though, Bugle just actually got in here.
Oh, hello, Bugle.
Hello.
One
Do you
thing
wanna-
to note
Yeah.
over
Yes, I woke up too early because I wanted to post spoilers early in the morning, and this caused me to fall asleep in the middle of the day.
Well,
Oh.
glad you're here.
Yes, very glad to
Yeah.
hear. Quick, off the top of your head, give us a numerical rating for Pinky's Present.
2.5.
I mean, that's not too
Thoroughly-
far off.
Let's see.
Thoroughly average.
What do you think, Leo?
I am biased because I personally will be replacing a simple mix-up with this card, so I'm going to give it a 3.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's strictly better than simple mix-up,
Yeah.
but there are still enough situations that I would just prefer different events. The fact that it doesn't say immediate is a bit of a bummer, for example.
Yeah, that is true.
This card would be amazing if it was immediate.
Well, yes.
I would
None
like
of
to.
the. Go ahead.
No, I would like to be able to suddenly make you dedicate your AT towards confronting problems, only to realize it was for naught.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like we have cards that do that, but
Yes,
that
we
are
do.
immediate.
They're
Puppet
just not
Show.
as efficient.
Sock
Not-
puppets is 1 AT, right?
Puppet Show is 1
Puppet
AT.
show, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Puppet Show only affects a single problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, one other. Oh wait, no, that is just opponents. Sorry, I was misreading the card and thinking it also affected you as well.
I should note that a 5 flip is higher than every other card that this card would replace. We have Puppet Show at 4. Let's get this party started at 3, and a simple mix-up at 4.
So overall, a pretty solid entry into the first song cycle, or the first song in the song cycle that we've seen from this set. And we'll have to see what the other colors are able to bring.
Yeah. Like, I would probably play this in a monocolor deck, but I would find a harder it would be harder to put the song into a multicolor deck, at least for me.
That's fair.
All right,
Well,
well,
let's.
yeah,
sorry,
up
go ahead.
next. Flim Flam.
Oh, this has been a
This
very
card is
fun
awful,
card,
guys. There is no reason to ever use this over Kevin.
mostly because of exactly that right there. So
There are
when this was
very specific reasons to use this over Kevin.
Yes,
But they are few.
The biggest ones that I saw was if you happen to be using Muffin Mare or Applejack Apple Vendor.
Yep.
Because both of these mains really like 3 power friends. And costing 2 is a good place for that.
Yep. So just taking a look at the card's effects, Ara, what do we got?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot here. Okay, I
Yeah.
gotta switch.
Everybody gets a turn.
Everyone gets a turn. Okay, right.
My
so,
turn was Sweetie Belle, so
well, you missed it. Oh well.
haha.
Okay, so as this card enters play, choose a color. That card is that color. Great, color agility. And we've seen this with Kevin, not so much with Smooze, because Smooze is actually more agile here. But hooray, entry in any color. And then we've got this card enters play with 3+1 power counters on it. So 3 power entry, any color for two ats. This sounds good, actually. Until at the start of your turn, remove a +1 power counter from this card. So play it for 2. You have 3 power that turn to do whatever you want with. So entry, confronting, it is vulnerable to food fight, however. And then it just kind of tapers off. So if you're stuck in a place and you need to get up to 3 color or 2 color next turn to do something, these are your guys.
So it is a common. So I know at least in limited, I will be grabbing these.
Entry problems in limited? Not
Mhm.
anymore.
In my game, it's more likely than you think.
Not with these guys around.
That's true.
So it is a common. The downside of this is obviously it's a 0 flip. And I don't really like putting 0 flips in my deck if I can help it, unless they're going to be like really good, like say Paper Twy.
Owl. Although Owl really isn't seeing that much play anymore.
Owl doesn't see that much play anymore.
Owl doesn't see play specifically because of the 0 flip.
Owl is biding his time.
And
Which
because
is,
yellow doesn't see play.
Well, that too. But well,
Yellow.
I mean, you don't need to be playing yellow to be playing Owl.
Yeah.
No, but it's helpful.
Yeah, the
I
power
mean,
tapering off is also not very good here.
Now, there are ways to combat that, and those have been
Mhm.
brought up by some of us here before.
Yes,
You can-
that actually is another good point, which is these are counters. And if you have something else that abuses counters, this is a pretty good way to get 3 counters.
My
Such as-
personal favorite is using Double Diamond. Can't remember his subtitle anymore.
Airdrop.
Airdrop,
Yes,
yes.
Airdrop, the ultra rare one, because he does not care about who has the counters, just a character at his location. So if you know you don't care about Flim and Flam's counters, just drop them, start a face off, then exhaust stuff.
If you happen to be running a deck that uses Operation Mayor Do Well, which I'm sure not many people do, it's an ample source of 3+1 counters, and just exhaust Mayor Do Well right away and send them to someone else that will keep them.
Yeah. The other big thing is if you have a retire outlet like Minuet Schadenfreude or whatever, you play this early to help you fix, and then when when they stop being relevant, you well, give them to Minuet to play with.
Or use it to cast a hasty Snips and Snails.
Yeah.
You are so on board with that Snips and Snails plan.
I love Snips and Snails.
Snips and Snails is an interesting, not too bad card, honestly.
Now, I actually like that direction you were going, Living Silver, with Operation Mayor Do Well. I could see this in some kind of variant of Elves that plays a Flim and Flam, then plays a Bulk Biceps, the blue-orange multicolor from Marks in Time, and immediately moves all the counters onto Bulk off of Flim after using them to get color wreck.
Yes.
And again, Muffin Mayor loves 3-power friends.
Exactly. It's kind of silly.
It also puts it into Appaloosa range.
It would put Bulk into Appaloosa range.
But yeah, overall, this is a niche common, niche entry. Usually you're going to prefer Kevin or Barrel or Makeover or whatever, but in the niche, it fills the role better than any other card.
I think that's true in Constructed. I think this card will be more useful than that in Limited, however.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I'm putting it at a solid 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the other obvious thing, we missed the most obvious thing about this card actually. It's a 2-cost 3-power that you can confront with.
Yeah.
I mean, this is true.
Yeah, it's 1 more power than a Kevin. You know, if you really need 3 power to DFO and you only have 2 action tokens, you're going to be playing this a lot in Limited to do that.
Power efficient friends are good in Limited. This is a true statement. I'd agree with your assessment, though, probably about a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Okay.
Yes, it's a 2.
Well, on to the next card.
Next
Heart of
card.
the Sea.
I get 90s flashbacks from this card.
Well, let's see. A resource, our first resource, I think, that's been spoiled.
The first one, yes.
It's
I poked the Twitter, hey, we don't have any resources. Is the next card going to be a resource? There was no direct response, but this was the card that was spoiled a few hours later.
I see. Well, we've got a Heart of the Sea. 4 power, 2 cost, 3 white requirement. Play on a friend. That card has +2 power.
Friend or troublemaker.
Or troublemaker. Sorry, yes, I missed that one. Friend or troublemaker. That card has +2 power. If that card would be dismissed, you may put it into its owner's hand instead. So we've got pseudo recursion,
Kind of.
preemptive recursion.
Removal protection?
Personally, I feel if you're playing this on a friend, it is usually worse than 10 Carat Hat.
Yes, agreed.
What does 10 Carat Hat actually do?
1 cost,
for 2 power.
2 rec, 2 power.
But not the cycle.
You yes.
Yeah, like you're just looking
But-
for power, then sure.
Yeah. And unless you're playing against pink, 10 Carat Hat is just better. Okay, or Rarity's Epiphany, or one of the very few colorless dismissal.
I mean, anything on with a troublemaker will do it.
Yeah. Well, I specifically said for a friend.
Because blue is so common, you're going to get
troublemaker dismissal effects.
Well, we hadn't talked about troublemaker mode yet, right?
Let me clarify. Troublemakers that have effects that would dismiss friends.
Yes,
which I believe there are 2 of. No, 3 of. I forgot Tarek.
So,
No, 4.
Just strictly speaking, power-wise, yeah, it's not the most efficient hat that you can play, but it is still a hat, and it's actually, well, it may not be a hat, but there's a hat in the picture, so that qualifies it for hat deck, right?
Yeah,
There's-
this is a hat.
It is technically a hat.
Is it a
Though you
1.5
can very,
hat?
very barely make out the fact that there is a hat in this picture.
Oh, there's a huge brim that covers the entire top. That's good enough. Although
Rarity and her giant hats. Come on.
the pinstripe suit is quite stylish. Can I get a card for that?
Technically, it's a brooch, right? Isn't that
Pinstripe.
what the Heart of the Sea is? It's a gem or a jewel.
Yeah. Yeah, which you can't even see because of the suit.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, this is Suit of the Sea. Let's be honest here.
It is. It's true.
Now, there's a great card you can play this on. Rarity. Or actually any of your like friends that are obvious targets for dismissal.
Honestly, I feel putting this on RTO is worse than not putting this on RTO.
I mean, yeah, it makes her vulnerable to like
Food fight.
3 other dismissals. Or yeah.
Specifically, Food Fight.
Hey, if you want
And
to bait a
Yoink.
food fight by playing a resource, that's completely fine.
That is completely fine because that's one less food fight they've got to play with.
Well, think about this. Think about
And you
this.
paid 5 AT.
You
for
have
it,
paid. You have paid 3 AT for the RTO,
Sure.
2 AT for the Heart of the Sea,
Sure.
and then 3 AT for the RTO that you have replayed. You have missed your confront step because of Food Fight. They've paid 2 AT. You are both down 1 card. Who's really ahead here?
Well, who lost their tools and didn't get them back? Yes, it's not as much value as it seems at first glance, but if your opponent does not have a recursion method and is limited in terms of the number of food fights they'll see over the course of a game, I could argue there are situations you would want to do this, just to bait out that removal.
If you are in a position where you can afford to bait out a food fight with 5 AT, you are either very ahead or very behind and you are using desperation tactics.
Possibly true. I will say that there's a player at my locals who this is going in his deck, without question. Because he does not like food fights.
Fair enough. I would just personally rather use stuff like what is it called? The super rare event. Redeeming qualities. I would almost always rather use redeeming qualities over Heart of the Sea if I'm trying to use it to protect friends.
Yeah, just
Where
put
I
it directly
truly
into play.
find the card interesting is the troublemaker aspect.
Yes.
I see the friend aspect as a secondary concern. Like you add this into your deck, intending to put it onto a troublemaker, and because it's flexible, sometimes you play it on a friend. At least that's how I personally see the card.
So troublemakers, then. Expound on that.
So, two important things you need to know about troublemakers and when they are dismissed. First off, when they are defeated, they are dismissed after you score the points. Second off, when you dismiss them to uniqueness, they are dismissed. This is true for friends as well. You dismiss due to uniqueness, you retire due to home limit. And this is a way to, like, it is much harder to recur troublemakers right now, especially in white. And
I mean, it's
you're
pretty
making
easy
them
to
harder to beat.
It's pretty easy to get rid of them in white. And
This is
that-
true.
Indeed.
And that is
And it gets a rid
unfortunately
around the heart, actually.
It does. That is unfortunately one of the downsides that you see here. Most of the troublemaker removal that we've seen come out of the last few sets has actually not just straight up been dismissal. We have seen banish through cracking the case. We've seen turn face down or return to hand through a number of yellow effects, or even just ignore for purposes of confronting. Even damsel in distress actually just moved the troublemaker.
Though
And then
if
it gets
you move
dismissed
to-
by the game.
Yeah, if you
Yes.
try to dismiss it due to uniqueness, you do get it back with heart.
Is
No,
it
you
not?
do not.
It's
No, you do
dismissed by the
not.
game.
Yes, the game dismisses it when a uniqueness violation occurs.
And you can't
says-
dismiss or
If that card would be dismissed, you may put it into its owner's hand instead.
and you can't
Correct.
replace things that the game does. So you
Correct.
can't actually use
Oh,
this on
really?
uniqueness violations.
Correct. It's
Oh.
the same. It's the same reason that you can't use a number of other different tactics with replacement effects that exist nowadays, and using
Well,
uniqueness.
there goes the combo potential.
Oh, it was never there to begin with.
Yes. Well, ignore that second point that I made earlier.
But
Still-
you can use this, however, to recover a troublemaker when it gets, oh, I don't know, snips and snails.
When it gets Simpson Snailed, yes, or when it gets Epic Wind.
Now, it won't stop your opponents from scoring the points on Epic Win.
Correct. They do get the points.
Well, I'm thinking of the use of when a deck uses a troublemaker for its specific ability. If you're using a Nightmare Star because you're trying to keep for opponents' characters from exhausting, then as soon as your Nightmare Star gets defeated, you get an opportunity to put it right back into play again and cause havoc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
and
like when your
an
opponent
8-power
has
Nightmare Star is much harder to beat, and usually, if they're trying to get rid of it, they're trying to get rid of it for a reason, and now suddenly it's there again, and that's very sad. Unless, of course, they crack it.
yeah, you know, when your opponent gets out their 3 of Factory Jacks and 3 Paper Twies and 3 freaking
Fluttershy Guidance Counselors if you're a Nightmare.
yeah, and they're Cloud Chasers. You know, Nightmare
F-Stops.
Star is kind of nice.
We
I'm
are
also-
definitely in an exhaust meta right now.
Yes, we are.
I'm also thinking of budget players. For somebody who doesn't have the money to afford maybe a full set of Nightmare Moons, this allows you to play a Monstrous Cave or Zeroed Out to be able to search for those few troublemakers you do have in your deck. And then when they're dead, you get to put them right back into play again.
If you're not spreading your color too thin, that's
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a blue-white.
blue-white. I could see blue-white. Purple is a little bit more of a stretch, although not unheard of. You might play white just to get photo finish, for example. Overall, I think this card is going to see more play and is actually designed for more play in a limited environment. This might actually hint at there being more dismissal effects included in this upcoming set, simply because this card is designed to counter that and is printed at common. Now, that's not always necessarily true. We've seen a lot of cards that have dealt with troublemakers before over Equestrian Odysseys and High Magic and Marks in Time, and there were not that many troublemakers to be able to play with. So
Yeah, playing purple in Marks in Time pre-release was very sad.
it was.
It's like,
How,
have my cards...
however-
Oh, go for it.
sorry, I was going to say,
Yeah.
however, because this card, again, we're seeing some of these modal effects or multiple uses, either affecting you or affecting your opponent, choosing different things. This is useful on both troublemakers and friends. It could fit in a white deck that is trying to accomplish either being aggressive or trying to control the board, both of which I think are valid tactics with the new rarity main.
Good point.
I'd say probably about the same as a Flim and Flam for this card. About a 2 from me.
I agree.
Likewise.
Yeah, in limited, I think this card will be much better. But like I said, in constructed for friends, I would typically prefer a 10-carat hat, or even better, a cheese shoes. Though for troublemakers, there's some interesting play there.
Yeah,
Deal-
I think
before
I
this. Go ahead,
for it.
Rara. Well, I was going to say, before this card, the only way to bring a troublemaker back was through playing Rehabilitation, and that was available only to yellow, a color which
Well,
few people ever played.
There's stuff
Think-
like cleaning up and Heartstrong as horses as well.
This is true.
The troublemaker specific method. You mean.
But yeah,
Troublemaker
troublemaker
specific.
specific, yeah.
Well, shall we take a look at the next one?
Yes.
My favorite card in the set.
Berry Punch and Orange Swirl. Beagle, you wanna
Cider.
do this one?
This is not Berry Dreams. Berry Dreams is very upset. Well, Berry Dreams is also upset for completely unrelated reasons. Yeah, this is a fun card. My first instinct when I saw this was, it's like half of a hoops without the chaos.
Although you should read the.
You should, yeah,
Check
you should go
the-
read that card again.
Yeah, I'll read the card. Yeah, I was waiting for it to show up on my stream.
I remember it being different. It had something different text on it.
No, this is.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yes.
looks totally legit.
Oh, this is the fair version. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
when this card enters play, gain control of all opposing friends until the end of the score phase.
So we've seen some mind control effects before, and they've obviously just not been strong enough. And so they're just kind of, putting things out there and seeing what happens with this card. It is stronger than we've seen before, but really not by that much, right?
Totally fine.
Oh, this will be okay.
Yeah, I mean, the most obvious way to use this is, of course, it denies them power for all of their immediates and hasties for the turn. Aside from their main.
Right.
And color wreck.
Yeah, they have no color wreck anymore. And
no, any
you-
deck that's like, I like to eat your stuff. Like Minuet's great for this.
Minuet, Sorin,
Sorin, yeah.
card.
Now, I actually have a comment about the art in this card, specifically the type symbols. Is this the first time we've seen them double up on the symbols?
No.
No.
Cutie Mark Crusaders main would like to say
Ah, yes, that one.
hello.
And my little cloney would also like to say hi
Had
several times.
multiple ponies on it. Yes.
Hi, I'm Pinkie Pie. Hi, I'm Pinkie Pie. I'm Pinkie Pie.
I believe we've also had Octavia and Vinyl, and we
yes.
have also had Lyra Bond.
Yep.
Cat
Dog.
The flower ponies are all earth ponies.
So yes, we've seen
Yeah.
these symbols before.
Yeah, but
Okay.
we have seen it before.
Okay, all right. Let's quit. I can't keep this up.
Well, no, we have another card.
All right. We do have another card. That's right.
We have Cloud Tracer and Flutter, 2 on the team.
Yeah.
Tell us about this one, Mr. Cafe.
So, this is fun, right? This is the first card printed that lets you move resources. I mean, aside from the actual imaginary friends from Discord, but you can move resources with this card.
Can I move
not-
problems?
Yes, you can move problems as well. I'm not sure how you do that yet. They did not give me the updated rules, but
We'll have to see what the rules for that are. It'll be interesting.
this card does let you move resources and problems. I'm pretty sure it's restricted to cards in play. I mean, you can't move cards in your opponent's hand.
Can I move them to my opponent's deck in different orders?
As long as you don't look at them.
Oh, like I said, I didn't get the updated rules. But obviously, in most cases, you're going to do stuff like move all of your friends with this one card.
So we actually just got a correction from chat. Premier Granny Smith actually did move resources, and this is true.
Premier Granny Smith reattached resources.
No, this
It's
lets
close
you-
to move.
No. They're distinct. This lets you straight up move.
Yes. So this lets you move, say, a party bomb to a problem.
Oh man, I don't even care if that doesn't have game mechanic implications. That's horrifying.
So I've actually just been notified that these are the wrong ones. Like
Oh,
apparently
what?
somehow we got this mixed up.
This must be the work of an enemy
Let
stand.
me go add in the right ones.
did you just
just a second
out-JoJo
here.
me?
Yes,
a second
I
here.
did.
Okay, I fixed
Wait,
that.
Are you telling me I can't move 1/2 power friend to then move my entire team anymore?
Unfortunately, you cannot.
Also, my opponent's entire
No.
team.
Okay, here we go. Here's the actual version.
Okay.
Berry Punch.
All right.
Let's see what actually happens here. Only one friend. Okay.
This seems a little more reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no, this is
Yes, this is the actual card as far as we're aware.
Mr. Mosh Pit, you want to talk about this?
Yes, very yes. I want these. 3 of these right now.
Okay, your time is up. Let's move on.
That's all I needed.
This card is truly one of my favorites, if not the favorite card I have in this set so far. The ability to gain control of a friend for 1 action token has already proven itself to be strong with Sonata Dusk, Although Sonata Dust can be played proactively, she does also require you to banish a card from your hand. And the big issue we've seen so far with most temporary mind control effects is that they are generally location-based if they're coming into play on a body. This is the first effect, I believe, that we've seen with a friend gaining control other than Sugar Bell, the ultra rare from Equestrian Odysseys, that is not location specific and also isn't tied to some other modifier, like this card being frightened or leaving play. So 1AT, gain control of an opposing friend anywhere until the end of the score phase, with only 2 rec, which is easily splashable with pink as an off color.
Sugar Bell was not location restricted.
No,
That's
but
what
she
he
did
said.
have, right. I did say she was not location restricted, but she did have the other restriction of only gaining control until she
okay.
left play
Yes,
or
yes.
was frightened.
And
no.
you should also add that she was expensive. She was 3 cost,
She was 3
as opposed
cost,
to just
yes.
1.
So this card actually seems pretty good. Like, Hoops hasn't really been seeing play. I don't know if that's cost or just
It's
that
the wreck.
ability isn't. Oh yeah, this is true. The wreck.
The 4 rec, yeah.
Yeah.
I played Hoops, thank you.
Just saying, hasn't seen a lot of play.
You also played Cadence. I'm gonna call you out on that.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
But I'll have to see how this works out. I am leaning towards either a 3 or 4 here.
But
Can we talk about the scariest part of this card for a moment? It's that little letter that's down there in the bottom right corner.
Common.
C.
that's a bug.
No, next to the bug.
That
I
is a
don't.
bug.
I don't actually know what the bug pony means.
The fact that it is common means in limited play, we are going to see tons of these thrown down on the table.
Yeah, you're gonna see this in a few pre-releases, or all of the pre-releases.
Could this actually be the equivalent of this next set's T-Rex Reign of Terror in terms of draft or limited potential?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
It's
mean-
not as good as Tyrus Reign of Terror, but it's still very good.
I mean, the question is, like in Marks in Time, oftentimes when you go into a draft, you're like, no, blue, orange. Like, if I don't get that, it's over.
The problem
Well-
is that everyone then goes for blue
Yeah,
orange,
so-
so no one plays blue orange.
Well, yeah,
Play
it's the
yellow
meta
with a
game.
critter token.
But in this set, is this going to be the I am going pink? Like, that's the level that Terrace Reign and actually a combination of other cards were. So is this? We'll have to see if this whole set is just going to be like, no, I'm going pink, or if there's enough balance, or we'll have to see what happens.
It's
All
very
it takes
good.
is 1 retire card from pink in limited, and it's going to boost, like you said, it'll make this the highly desired card that will define what color you draft.
Even if you don't have the retire cards, this card will frequently be 3 to 5 power for 1AT, which will let you win a DFO. Plus,
Right.
it's minus
This is
2 to 4 power on their side.
It's
Yep.
true.
this is a card that you hate draft, even if you're not running pink. That's how good this is.
It's true. There's
I'm
also.
thinking-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm thinking in terms of gameplay as well, this is going to keep people from moving characters to a problem for a single confront. Because if you run down, because sometimes you have the decision, right? Should I confront a single problem or should I wait for next turn to DFO? It's going to make you hesitate to jump for that single confront because at any point your opponent can throw down a berry punch and or swirl and nab your friend. Then they move theirs to confront the other problem and, DFO.
I'm not so sure about that. I don't think it's going to encourage. I don't think it's going to lead to that particular line of play, but I think people will have to be careful about playing against this card. Where there are interesting implications is that we know that this set is part of the existing Block 2. That means this card will potentially show up in limited environments with Thunderlane. If you
Yep.
ever wanted an answer to
Tee-hee.
Thunderlane to really bad manner your opponent, let them win a face-off with Thunderlane and get multiple counters on it, then grab it next turn, use it to confront, and abuse all of its counters doing nothing.
And
Yeah,
I'd like,
DFO, win the DFO, then still, after you put the counters on, still in the face-off, blow up those, or use those counters, and then give it back.
so yeah, and another major difference from Hoops is that it's any friend. So like it can be at home.
It's not
Yep.
restriction locked. Yeah, they're basically half a hoops without the chaos, with a better restriction, in that they don't have one.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting this card at a 4, and honestly, knowing that we will probably continue to see additional strong pink effects, I might actually lead towards this being slightly higher. This card
4.13.
Will not 3.14.
Yeah, 4.13.
Sure. We might actually see decks like Mono Pink Control finally getting enough tools to actually just start running cards like this to supplement existing weaknesses.
This card does go into the pink-white control deck that I use. It would just straight up replace Sugar Bell, which would mean I'd only be adding 2 copies, but I've still got the Sonata, so I'm not too upset.
Very good card.
Nice.
Yeah. So can we talk about the most important part of the card real quick?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Cider.
That was
Cider.
beautiful.
Alright. So let's check out our corrected version of the other card. Cloud Chaser and Flitter. Still moving things, just slightly less.
Down to reasonable levels, and you can no longer do all the shenanigans with, oh, I'm just going to move this other problem over here. No, none of that.
Can't move resources or problems. You can, however, still move your opponent's cards.
I mean, sure, if you're also splashing purple with this, when you move another character
Oh,
with
yeah,
less power.
sorry. Yeah, if you move an opponent's card, you will trigger them. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to build a blue, yellow, purple control deck,
with aggro because you need to move cards up or
sure.
Well, and it is calming, so actually the control just works from the calming, but
yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's interesting.
There's a lot of interesting stuff in this game.
I mean, so this is Reverse Wildfire, which just happens to actually not be as good as Wildfire. But you have a Swift friend, then you can chain this with that. It is some interesting uses.
It's not as good as Wildfire in the same purpose as Wildfire.
Yeah.
Of being able to move up your own characters. But it is also kind of interesting in that it's got the keyword on there. And that's pretty nice.
Calming.
Yeah.
Calming really doesn't work until it gets to 2. And so just starting at 2 and almost always being at problems is kind of nice.
There is, of course, combo potential.
Yes. 2 of them move forever.
Forever and ever and ever and ever. So then the question is...
Only 24 million times, come on.
That's true. Is Cloud Chaser moving Flitter, or is Flitter moving Cloud Chaser?
I don't know.
I mean, depends on where they're going.
Yeah.
If we're going to the bow shop, it's Flitter moving Cloud Chaser.
The other thing to keep in mind with this card that separates it from Wildfire, when Wildfire moves to a card, you must move the other card to the same problem that Wildfire moved. Whereas when another card with 2 or less power moves, Cloud Chaser and Flitter can be moved to the opposite problem.
Yep. Which is actually really nice sometimes.
Yeah.
They can even be moved home if you want.
Yeah, I think you run this alongside Wildfire most of the time, since coincidentally Wildfire is 2 power, and you want to move your Wildfires a lot, so you move Wildfire and then you drag 2 other friends along.
So you ever think we're going to see blue, yellow, or yellow, blue be a thing?
I mean, the blue-yellow problem is still a thing.
It is.
With its confusing name that is 1 letter different from another name. Yeah.
I do kind of like this card's potential when combined with cards like Dangerous Mission Outfit, since it is relatively easy with multiple copies of these to just go infinite in terms of movement. That means you can also theoretically go infinite in terms of power.
Yeah, well, even not going infinite with Cloud Chaser and Flitter, putting a dangerous movement or dangerous movement, dangerous mission outfit on
I mean,
them.
you're not wrong. It's also dangerous
Yeah.
movement.
Putting a dangerous mission outfit on them. If you're intending on moving 3 other friends anyway, you can do stuff like move a Swift Pegasus token, move this to that token. It's now a 2-power token. Move a Swift Pegasus token to the other problem. Move this. Now that one's 2 power, and whatever else was there gets extra power. And like the fact that this moves for free, possibly multiple times a turn, is just really good with dangerous mission outfit.
And blue has numerous cards that care about getting lots of power. Night Glider comes to mind.
Yeah, Night Glider. I forgot my actual favorite interaction. True Friend. You move a friend or a character, but in this case, you want to abuse Cloud Chaser and Flitter, so you're moving a friend to all 2 or 3 of your problems. Then each one of those triggers these guys with your dangerous mission outfit, so you buff them all up as well. It's just fun.
There's a lot of value in this color combination.
Yeah. I think we might see blue-yellow come back.
For now, I am hesitant to put this at a 3, just because I haven't yet seen enough other support for yellow. But it well could be a 3.
I think we actually have enough strong blue-yellow cards right now. Like I said, we have is it Save the Day or Saving the Day? I can never remember. The problem, we have Little Strongheart, who
it's totally fine.
Is very playable. Is also 2 at everything, except the competitive is sometimes more than 2.
We have Skunk, who's not playable. Dr. Hooves, who doesn't work.
We have the Song, though, and the Song is ridiculously strong.
Song is very good. I cannot fault you there. The Song is very, very good.
And blue and yellow have the best dilemmas.
Yes, this is true.
This is also true.
Dilemmas support a swarm strategy.
And actually,
because, I'll confront 3 problems.
Having 6 dilemmas is actually pretty nice as a bypassing troublemakers.
Yeah, I mean, my tricolor Bluna deck uses blue, yellow, white, and it actually works fairly well. I don't know that it's the most top tier deck, but it still punches very hard for an aggro deck.
Fine, you've convinced me this can be a 3.
Yeah,
I'd put it at a 3 too.
Okay, well, it's got Cloud Chaser and Flare on it. It's automatically good.
That's not.
So you're saying it's just automatically a 5?
Yes, I don't know.
It does define a deck. The deck is Cloud Chaser and Flitter the deck.
You can move any Cloud Chaser and or Flitter in the game with this, unless you cutie mark the prancing pair.
Yes.
But yeah, I like this card a lot. I think 3 is reasonable. I think the Calming 2 will help against in the aggro mirrors, especially when you do something like flip a 2 Griffin Stone, and then you go, okay, I will move this friend, which also moves these guys. And yeah, it's fun.
Can we talk about the flavor text before we move on?
So, disclaimer, I did not write this flavor text. It does look like it might have been written specifically with me in mind, but I did not write this flavor text.
Rob is both the best princess and possibly the best troll.
Princess Troll?
Princess Troll. All hail Princess Troll.
Hail. Behold, behold.
Behold, behold.
And to address the other question people have asked me, this is not my create-a card.
But that actually leads us into kind of an interesting segue. We've seen the 6 cards for this week, and it's nice that spoilers have started picking up soon. And I think they're going to continue to pick up soon. In fact, very soon. Say within the next 2 weeks, perhaps?
Yeah.
Less time than that, even.
Oh, that's true. It is less time than that. What's coming up in 2 weeks, Cheese?
2 weeks? Well, it's Easter.
It is Easter.
Which happens to coincide with BabsCon.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the premiere of the show.
Oh, there's that too, but whatever.
News show. Yeah.
There's a show?
Yeah,
Well,
you should watch it sometime. Sometimes you see rainbow shine.
But yeah, so BabsCon, we will have some more spoilers.
Wait, we will have spoilers?
Yes.
Well, BabsCon will have spoilers.
Yes. There will, in fact, be convention first reveal spoilers at BabsCon. We, as Commentary is Magic, will be doing a live stream of these spoilers on Saturday, April 15th, sometime before the start of the Harmony tournament for BabsCon. So that if you are not there at the con, you can see these awesome cards that are about to be revealed. There is some number of them. How many will be determined. But
It's between 1 and 10,000.
it is between 1 and 10,000.
well, they've said that the set is similar to Marks in Time, so I don't think they're going to go and catch most of the way up to Magic with one set. Just a thought.
Maybe. However, if you are actually in person at BabsCon, you will get a special chance to see some brand new spoilers a day before they are live streamed out. So, if we see you at BabsCon on Friday, April 14th, then you will be able to see these spoilers a day before they are publicly streamed. And that's as good a reason as any, if I've heard one, to go to an awesome convention.
Yep. Book your flights right now. I think hotel's already full, but you can figure that out.
Just go so you can play in Nightmare format and experience the bliss of the past. That's the
Bliss.
right word, right? Bliss?
No,
Bliss.
I don't
The
think
bliss.
that's the right word.
I think it's bliss.
Yeah.
And what else is going on at BabsCon?
Oh yes, the premiere of the new villain challenge with Sombra.
There's a Sombra villain challenge?
Don't know anything about that.
No.
Who's Sombra?
I don't
Well,
know. Some
do
guy.
you guys
I
need to
think
see
he's
a picture of him?
some dude's OC.
Boo. you need a picture of Sombra?
Sure, let's get a picture of Sombra.
Oh wait, we don't have the picture. Wait, I actually do have the picture of Sombra. There's a picture of Sombra. But Sombra has a resource.
Yes, this is true. So we've covered a lot about Sombra and his villain challenge premiere at BabsCon. But the one thing that we haven't really covered is how Sombra makes those incredibly good-looking Crystal Friend tokens that we saw last time. And I think we're ready to reveal that. So, Ara, tell us about Sombra's corrupting influence.
Oh boy. All right, so like we said before, Sombra has lots of Crystal Pony tokens. You know, he's got this whole kingdom effectively behind him, so it makes sense he's had a lot of subjects, right? Slaves. Whoops. Which of those is the right word? Subjects. Yes. Subjects. I said subjects.
You did say subjects.
I did say subjects. Okay.
Subjected to something.
Yes, his cruelty mostly. Or stop looking at me that way, Sombra. At the start of your turn.
influence.
Would you
You get
call it
to-
his corrupting influence?
Yes, his corrupting.
I might
influence.
do so.
So that's what we've got
I have
here.
a family.
Now, this is kind of becoming a theme in the villain challenges where either the villains or the challengers need more abilities than fit on just the cards that they have. In this case, Sombra has this lovely little personality trait, I guess we're going to call it. Where at the start of his turn, he gets to put one of those Crystal Pony tokens into play anywhere. And remember that Sombra himself causes Crystal Ponies to get large quantities of competitive in a face-off. So where Sombra is sitting backing up his Crystal friends, and he usually has a lot of them, they've got a bit of power.
They might be kind of threatening.
Yeah.
But there's
Um,
more to it than just bodies, right?
Well, I don't know. The number of bodies does something rather interesting with this other ability on this card, which is exhaust this card and choose one of your friends. That friend is also crystal and gains teamwork until the end of your opponent's next turn. What this does is it effectively says, I have a powerful friend. All of my crystal friend tokens also have that same ability.
Now, this is a card we'll never actually see printed
Yes.
in the official game, because it turns
It
out that
breaks.
giving teamwork to certain cards
It
is
causes giving teamwork to certain cards causes problems because you end up with silly things like hundreds of power.
Or giving teamwork to something with teamwork then gives all
Or
of your
that ends up
characters
breaking the
influent
game.
teamwork, and that's bad.
Yes.
I mean,
So
it's level 3 Sombra is what we call it.
yes, Sombra can get some pretty powerful abilities off of this. One of the funnier, his draw deck does some fun things with this. Let's just leave it at that.
You want to leave exactly what tools can be shared with teamwork up to a surprise?
Yeah.
I think so.
So
I mean, this is rule number 1 of being a villain: is you don't, come out swinging.
I mean, that's true.
Yes, you hold the back to just one level above the hero until the end.
I thought rule number 1 of being a villain was to gloat and explain your master plan.
That's after you capture them, though.
It's after you can, yeah. Wait, you
And
got to do
you have
this
to
in order.
distract yourself in doing so you give them a chance to escape.
Yes. Right. Yeah, rule number 2 is leave them alone with the death trap.
Yep.
So we've actually showcased quite a bit of Sombra here over the last couple of streams that we've run. We've shown his start ability. We've explained how the challengers will have to win by vying for control of this territory with problem decks that rotate in a particular direction. And we've shown how Sombra is creating these Crystal Friend tokens and what he can do with them once they're actually in play. I think the challengers have got a pretty good idea of what they'd be going up against, but I still think Sombra's going to have a few tricks up his sleeve.
Isn't that a blue pony?
What, tricks up his sleeve?
The certain blue pony has lots of tricks up her sleeve.
He's certainly not going down without a fight. And just like the spoilers that will be premiering at BabsCon, King Sombra Villain Challenge will also premiere at BabsCon, though Nightmare Moon may still make her return for those who have not had the chance to take her down yet.
Just assuming she's going to lose?
I don't know. Is Zippo playing?
Oh,
the true terror of Nightmare Moon can only be overcome with puppies.
Puppies. This is her one fear: puppies.
I mean, it's kind of thematic. You overcome fear with joy, right?
No,
Let's
in
go
this
with
case,
that.
I think she's just literally buried under a pile of puppies.
Doggo.
I mean, consider as long as it's not too many puppies, that'd be fun, actually.
Hi, Nightmare Moon. Will you be my friend? I have a puppy. Here, have a puppy. Here, have a puppy. Here, have a puppy. Here, have a puppy.
No!
And then she dies.
No, then she gets booped on the nose and turns back into Luna.
And then
Celestia keeps singing her song.
So, did we mention Thorax yet?
But we didn't know that from the cell sheet that was released for the next set, Thorax is confirmed as one of the main characters. Or not one of the main 6, but a main.
A main character, yes. Card.
It was also on Twitter as well.
It was.
Yeah. We don't know what color. We don't know abilities. We don't even know power. For all we know, this is 2 power on both sides. I don't know. Though I do have a theory. My theory is that Thorax is yellow. Not only would this fit the character, I just feel the character is a very yellow character, as depicted on the show, but I also think it's yellow because pink and yellow currently have fewer mains than any other color in the set.
And they're
and
all
we already
terrible.
have a pink ultra rare.
In
Or
the
not in
block.
the set, in the block, yes.
In the block. But that's just a theory.
It's just a theory. This is an educated guess. I have no proof to back this up.
Would you call it a game theory?
I would call it a game theory.
Oh, boo. No, not because he's cowardly, Sonnet Scroll. Well, no,
No, he is genuinely very,
he's kind.
very kind and concerned about others. Like, that is why he doesn't talk to them, because he's afraid that he will eat them.
No, it's
Well,
clearly
and-
because he's a critter, because he's a bug.
I mean,
Well, that too.
when he when he gets some wings, he's also kind of yellow, like his actual color.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's the best reason.
Chat, here's a good opportunity for you to share your feedback with us. Tell us what you think the Thorax main is going to look like. You can either send that as a chat message right now, or send us a response along with your feedback for this stream to commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com. We'd like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. I mean, he's the biggest mystery we have right now, aside from a certain rainbow named Pony, who
Who
may or
did
may
nothing
not
wrong.
Stop torturing me.
may or may not be pink and purple and have certain words.
Maybe.
Torturing me.
We'll have to
Or
see.
flavor text.
Or
It
flavor
hurts.
text.
That's
With that, though, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this stream now. As always, thank you everyone for joining us. We are eager to hear your feedback on these cards. Share your opinion, what you have enjoyed seeing in the set so far, what you're looking to playing, something we missed, something you disagreed with. These are just our opinions after all. But we value your feedback.
Yeah, I'm still curious to see, if you haven't said it before, who do you want to see in future sets? I would love to see more theories.
Just send us a reply to that email in the chat.
More flurry hearts.
More flurry hearts. Where's Pony?
Hey, hold on. When did Twist get dethroned here?
I mean, she's never
She
been a
did-
princess.
This is true. With that, though, I think we'll go ahead and wrap things up for tonight.
Did you
Unless
want to
we have
say
any
the
last-minute
email for the?
announcements.
Yeah. Did you want
It's
to say
in
the
chat.
email for the people who aren't watching
We-
this live?
Yeah, it's
We
in
did.
chat.
We also
Okay.
did commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com.
There we. Okay.
No spaces, no capitals.
Correct. But thank you for joining us, everyone. As always, we'll be back every time there's another 3 spoilers.
Unless that's in the middle of BabsCon.
3 or more spoilers.
3 or more spoilers. Thank you. I am, as always, Grandpa's.
I am the late Emperor Bugle.
Big
You're
cheese.
dead?
Yes.
The attempting to be funny and failing are a cat.
And living silver.
We'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.